I never learn. One of these months I'm gonna have a realistic TBR, but November is not that month. Hey everyone, it's Rose and welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my November TBR. I'm going to take you through every single book I want to read in November, and then at the end of the month we'll see how many I read. I've just finished filming my October. Did I read my TBR? Spoiler alert, the October TBR was a fail if you haven't watched that video. So you would think I would make a more realistic TBR for November, one that I might be actually able to stick to and complete. But we have some big books on this TBR, and I think there are 15 books that I want to read in November. To be fair to myself, I have a lot of these books planned out for specific videos I want to make, so I think it's going to motivate me to read quite a lot of them. I think the ones that aren't for videos and are just for fun might be the ones I struggle with if I'm not in the mood for them. But let's just get into it. First of all, I have 4 fantasy books that I'm going to show you. We of course have, as on every TBR, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I need to read this early in November because Iron Flame, I think that's the second book, is coming out literally this month. And I just know if I don't read this by the time Iron Flame, I think it's called, comes out, I'm going to have both books spoiled for me. So I want to read this. I want to read this because I'm excited, but also my motivation is because I know it's going to be spoiled for me if I don't. So Fourth Wing, I want to read. And we have The Reckoning by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is the 3rd book in the Zodiac Academy series. In October I read the first 2 and I'm excited to continue reading. This is, I think it's the last book that I've already read before, or maybe I read book 4. So I have already read this, but I don't remember a lot of the details, and I'm really excited for it because I know that this is where things start to really happen. And we have Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I know nothing about this book, although I think Death's in it. Yes, Death is like a physical, I don't know if he's a person, but Death himself is in this book, and that is literally all I know. But I've heard amazing things and I really want to get to it. Then we have The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This is the first book in the, I think it's called The Remnant Chronicles, which is the prologue to the Dance of Thieves duology that's really popular. This is popular too, but not as popular. I just want to show you something real quick. Look how floppy this book is. It's literally, I don't think it's even going to be possible for me to break the spine. But oh my goodness, and also short chapters. I think this is going to be so fun. I have the whole trilogy, so if I really like this I can binge it, but I've just put the first book on my TBR because I'm trying to get better at doing that instead of putting a whole series on, because then if I don't start the series there's like 6 books just out the way of my TBR that I will have failed at. So I've just put the first book on. I'm going to be reading this along with the other fantasy books in a video that's coming out soon, it will be, because I'm going to get started on it soon. And yeah, this is the, I think it's the last fantasy book on my TBR. Maybe it's not, looking at this though. And we have some romance books that I'm going to take you through. I'm very excited to get through all of these. I think we have a lot of sequels. I think these are all sequels other than one, because I've read and loved the first or second or 3rd books in the series. First up we have Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. This is a sequel to When in Rome. I loved When in Rome and I'm so excited to get to this one, and look how cute this cover is. I think Sarah Adams' writing is so funny and I'm so excited. Then we have Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is the sequel to Icebreaker, which I rated 5 stars. I absolutely loved it and I cannot wait to read this one. It's also set at a camp. I think it's like a summer camp. Maple Hills. I think it's like a summer camp and they're both camp counselors. And I'm very excited. My friends are reading it and loving it, and I can't wait to be able to scream about it with them and with you guys. And we have a big one. We have Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. This is the 3rd and final book in the Knock 'Em Out trilogy. I loved Things We Never Got Over and Things We Hide from the Light. I love Lucy Score's writing in general, and this has been my most anticipated book since I read Things We Never Got Over. I cannot wait to read about Lucian and Sloane. I'm so excited. I know I'm gonna cry and I know I'm gonna laugh out loud and it's just gonna be such a fun time. Another one I'm probably gonna cry at is Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. I read Twisted Hate last month and absolutely loved it. I love that series in general, and this is the last one, which means I'm going to be saying goodbye to these characters and I'm really sad, but it's the time to read this book. This book I bought brand new, but it has creases in the spine, which is not amazing, but you know, oh well. So this one I am hoping to get to in November. We have Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I've heard this has really good anxiety representation, or maybe it's some sort of mental health representation. I'm pretty sure it's anxiety, but don't quote me on that. I will be able to let you know after I've read this book. But I've heard it's got really good mental health representation and I'm really excited to read it. Okay, then we have 2 books in a series that have been on my TBR for months and I just haven't been emotionally ready to do it to myself, but maybe November will be the month. I did say that in October and it wasn't the month, but maybe November is. We have Saving Six and Redeeming Six. These books are going to break my heart. The first 2 in this series did, Binding and Keeping 13. I have a video on my channel that I sobbed like 20 times in that video, and I don't think these ones are going to be any different. If anything, they're going to be more heartbreaking. But I really want to read them because I rated both those books 5 stars and I have a feeling these are going to be 5 stars too. So although they're going to break my heart, I think the second one's going to heal me. So we'll see. And then we have some books that don't really fit into a category. But I just really want to get to them. And first up we have Normal Woman by Ainsley Hogarth. This is an ARC copy. It comes out on the 4th of January. This book is by the author of Mother Thing, which I absolutely loved, which is a comedic horror, which I've never read before, but I loved it. And I think this is a comedic horror too. It's such a unique genre, and Ainsley Hogarth is so funny and disturbing in her writing at the same time. I mean, look at this cover. I really want to get to it. Thank you to Atlantic Books for sending me a copy. I also got a NetGalley ARC because I requested that before they sent me this, so thank you to NetGalley as well. Then we have The Villa by Ruth Kelly. This was sent to me by my friend Ellen, I think, but there was no note because Amazon is annoying like that sometimes. Thank you, Ellen. This is a thriller, and I heard Read With Loz on TikTok say it was kind of like Love Island meets Big Brother meets murder. So it's like a reality TV show where murder happens and they're all stuck on an island, I think. It sounds so unique and so fun, and I can't wait to get to it. And that's The Villa by Ruth Kelly. And then we have 2 Stephen King books, of course. I was on a Stephen King binge in October. I have a video out where I read 5 Stephen King books in 5 days. And I'm on a roll. I want to read more Stephen King books. So we have 4 Past Midnight, which is a huge book. I don't know why I said it like that. How many pages is this? It's like 900, I think. Yeah, over 900 pages. I think this is 4 short stories in one. 4 novellas in one. Here we go. The Langoliers, Secret Window, Secret Garden, The Library Policeman, and The Sundog. I've heard amazing and terrifying things about this book. But I want to get to it. I'm probably going to break this book up and read like a story in between some of the other books on my TBR and just read it throughout the month. And then the last book on my TBR is Needful Things by Stephen King. This is another big one, but it is 1 book and it's set in Castle Rock, where you kind of need to read those books in order because he's got a bunch of books set in the same town, so obviously his later books spoil the last books, and I know I needed to read The Dark Half before this one, which I have now read, so I can now get to one of my most anticipated reads ever. The Dark Half was one of my most anticipated reads too, but Needful Things, so excited to get to it. Oh my goodness. And that is everything I want to read in November. Overly ambitious as usual, because even though I do, like on average, read more than 15 books a month, it's very rare that I actually read ones from my TBR because I am a mood reader at heart, and I'll probably end up not being in the mood to read any of those books in about a week. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Why am I trying to jinx myself? Anyway, that is all for this video. Please be sure to check in at the end of the month and see how many of these I actually read. Let me know how many books are on your TBR for the month. I hope you have a lovely day. Please be sure to like and subscribe as I post new videos every single Monday, and sometimes there are extra ones like my last video. I think it was posted on a Thursday. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in another video. Bye!